It is challenging because I think in society, when you do stick your head above the parapet, there'll always be people that sort of try and silence you because they're okay with the status quo, they're okay with it. So I have to sort of decide and pick my moments.
We normally like to start the show by having our guests introduce themselves.
Well, I'm Eni Aluko, former professional footballer for Chelsea and England. I'm now a broadcaster and investor and advisor for Mercury 13, who own women's football teams. So, yeah, hopefully that's a succinct enough introduction.
You made quite the statement for women in broadcasting when you took on the Trolls and you won.
Yeah, I mean, that is always a part of, what I think about. How do we change some of these things in society that sort of are negative and toxic and, try and silence women or, try and make women feel like they don't belong? And I think my choice is always to speak up about it. I think that's the only way you change it. If you sort of bury your head in the sand and pretend like it's not happening, nothing really changes. And that comes with, a lot of opposition, of course. But I think speaking up, trying to change a culture that, makes female broadcasters feel intimidated, and I always feel like I've got a voice to try and change that. I think it's important to call these things out and try and, work with the right people to make sure that it's not a continuing thing and people are held accountable for the things that they say about female broadcasters.
I mean, it's very hard putting yourself out there like that and raising your head above the parapet. Mm-hmm. How difficult has all this been for you on a personal level?
It is challenging because I think in society, when you do stick your head above the parapet, there'll always be people that sort of try and silence you because they're okay with the status quo, they're okay with it. So I have to sort of decide and pick my moments of when to speak out and just try and bring attention to something that needs to continue changing.
How bad has it got for you on a personal level, dealing with some of the vitriol which you receive and obviously some of your colleagues receive as well?
Yeah, I mean it's really unpleasant, to be honest. But I'm pretty resilient and I'm pretty strong and I have a really good support network who know who I am, know what I'm about, know my value system. And I'm very good at stepping out of the football world so that, it's sort of, I don't hear the noise as much as I used to. But it's really challenging because it's abusive. I'm a big believer that we are accountable for what we say. Just because it's online doesn't really change that. So whether that's, going down the legal route or contacting the police or contacting, Kick It Out, or whoever it may be, consequences, I think, lead to change behaviour. So you have to kind of create consequences for this kind of behaviour because it's a societal issue. And as much as I can do to sort of try and keep changing it, I will. But it's deeply unpleasant. I can't lie about that.
Have you had much success with the police in terms of stopping any of this behaviour directed towards you, for instance?
I think the reality is online abuse does spill into real world harm. I've had to really think about, in the last 18 months, my security, and so the police have been helpful. I think they understand the impact that online abuse is having in the real world. If you feel scared or you feel intimidated by what people are saying online, I would always advise to, contact the police if you feel under threat.
You made a misstep of your own this summer. How do you reflect on that?
I've always been the person, to be honest, Darren, to hold my hands up and say, listen, got that one wrong. Yeah. If I would have been the person, I would have probably felt the same, So I could have done better in responding to the question I was asked and just keeping it as a general issue, which is what the point was.
Are you hopeful in time that you and Ian Wright will make up effectively, that he will forgive you? Because obviously he put out his statement saying he didn't accept your apology. I mean, how did that make you feel at the time?
I respect that. I respect how he feels. I've apologised and that's all really I can do. I would always encourage young kids, anyone, if you've done something wrong, apologise. say sorry, be sincere. It's an act of respect and humility. Whenever the person's ready, if they're ready to have a conversation, I'm ready to have a conversation. Whoever you are, right? Like this is just, I think, you know, what I'm about. So I respect timing of, you know, if it's not the right time, I totally respect that.
You've also been busy. Tell us about Hyphenated People.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Hyphenated People is a brand that I've launched, and Hyphenated People is all about heritage, travel storytelling and culture. I'm a big travel fan. I love to travel, and so it's really about where we've travelled, how it's really taught us and extended us in terms of our learning about different culture, but it's also celebrating your own culture and the fact that, you know, those of us in diaspora, you know, I'm British Nigerian, and really leaning into what that means. So I'm super excited to travel the world and interview other people about their travel journeys and their heritage, and I'm excited also to be the interviewer and just listen and you know, I've obviously been on the other side of it my whole career, answering questions, and I'm so excited to just ask questions and learn, and super excited to be launching that.
Are you travelling alone?
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I would like to potentially meet someone. I really do find it hard.
Why?
The amount of dates I've been on, and it becomes an interview, a bit like this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to talk about football. So I actually consciously try and date people who don't like football.
Would you ever want to go on to like Celebs Go Dating or any of these sorts of shows?
I actually got asked to go on Celebs Go
Did
Dating,
you?
and I think I chickened out because I am quite private. I mean, the people don't really know that much about my personal life, but private life should stay somewhat private. I don't like everything out there. But, you know, like everybody else, I'm trying to, you know, find love, and, you know, I don't know. I just have this feeling that maybe I'll meet someone on my travels rather than here. We'll see.
And I hear that you're a big chess fan.
I'm a big chess fan, yeah. When I retired 5 years ago, I sort of made promises to myself that I'd stay fit and I'd find a hobby that was completely different to football, because sort of the way I played, I was very intense. It was like fast, and, you know, I wanted to win, and I needed something that was just going to calm me down. And I'm a big art collector, so I collect art. And as part of my art collection, I was collecting sort of chess boards that were like made abroad. Quite niche, but anyway. And that's how I got into chess. And I really enjoyed what it did to my brain, so it kind of calmed me down. And then I joined chess clubs and met new people through chess clubs. There are some genius chess players that I'm like, okay, I've still got a long way to go.
I do just want to go back ever so slightly. Tom asked you about Celebs Go Dating, but would you do any other kind of reality TV show?
I'm open to it. I think it depends what it is, right? Like, again, it's all about making sure that it's aligned with you and, you know, but anything I think that requires you learning something new, I think I would be, you know, I love cooking. What's the show? Celebrity SAS, is it? The sort
You
of
do that?
I mean,
That's a
anything
really
that's
full-on one,
anything
isn't it,
that's
that
quite
one?
physical, that will push my limits, that's sort of testing.
I think maybe a stint in the jungle would suit
Oh
you.
no, I don't know about the jungle. That's one I think I couldn't do.
Really?
I can't even do the tents at Glastonbury, you know, without like sort of glamping. And, you know, I'm a bit of a girly girl in that way. So anything where I'm going to have like spiders in my hair, and I just wouldn't be able to do it. I just physically wouldn't be able to do it.
Fantastic. Will you promise us that if we improve at chess, we'll do this interview again next year while we're playing chess?
As long as you're ready, I might beat you, Darren. I might beat you. So as long as you're ready, as long as you're ready to lose on camera.
Eni Aluko, thank you very much.
Cheers.
Thank you
Thank you
so
for your
much.
time. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.